What's something that is totally normal in movies, but never happens in real life? Actually being able to have a conversation at a bar while music is playing. There's a scene in Insecure that plays that trope well. It's so awkward because they keep being interrupted by the loud music and it's so hilarious and honest. Not making mistakes when talking. And if they do make a slight stutter, it's because they are lying. Ask your friends to meet you at a predetermined time and place with no explanation as to why. I have a hard time getting friends to meet up for legitimate reasons with advanced notice. Meanwhile, movie characters come together in an abandoned warehouse in Brazil like all walk in at the same time. Why'd you call? Or you just ask them to meet, but don't say when or where, and they still show up. Police take a DNA sample and have the results in an hour. Like they have no idea how much a ducking costs Cyril. Wherever the detective has to go, he always finds a parking spot right in front of the place. Downtown Manhattan included. And he's never in danger of getting a parking ticket for not paying. It's just pull right up to the building and run inside. Hacking is typing really fast. Movie hacking, alright, and lem just reroute the mainframe IP through our VPN and reconfigure and map parameters. And we're in. We need to get those nuclear codes before the AI sentinels wise up. Actual hacking. Hello, this is UHH. John from the Port Inspection Agency. Our system shows that your port may have been hacked. Can you confirm it for us? Easily avoidable issues if the person just explains what is happening. This is pretty much the plot of every rom-com. Using guns in small rooms with no ear protection without being affected by the very loud bang that would probably damage your hearing. I was so used to this that I was really confused when Rick in The Walking Dead used a gun inside a tank and then obviously suffered from the noise. There's just a loud ringing and he looks like his head is going to explode, and I was like, WTF is his problem? Took me a moment to realize that this is probably what would happen. People in their 20s having large lavish apartments while having a lot of free time outside work. People recovering very quickly from injuries, especially head injuries. I just got unconscious, but am fine, look, no concussion. See. Teenagers being built like ducking tanks and are being played by people in their 30s. Guy walks in holding a 30-page document, gives to some other dude. The dude who's getting the document glances at the first page for a nanosecond and immediately knows everything there is to know about this case. Don't forget leaning back and adjusting their glaze before casting it to the side. Cars exploding on impact. Still a vast improvement on cars flying off the road and then exploding in midair. School in movies just consumes about 10% of the day. Important conversation by locker. Bell rings. Remember, 3/4 of your grade depends on this project. Looking at you, Jake Bell rings walking through parking lot with best friend, having plot driving conversation. One of them trips. Cut to antagonist and his cronies pointing and laughing. Most knockout drugs don't work very fast. Chloroform is always depicted to be some instant knockout drug when in reality it takes several minutes of constant exposure to knock someone unconscious. I'd guess a bad guy standing there for 7 minutes waiting for the hero to par out would probably make for a boring movie. Also a someone/guard getting physically knocked out with a punch, then being out cold for the remainder of the scene. If you're knocked out for longer than like 2 minutes, there is some serious brain damage going on. I don't have time to explain. We need to go. Zombies outside. Need to go now. Tsunami incoming. Need to go now. Shouldn't take too long to explain. People surviving wounds/injuries that should be fatal. Bad guys and extras die instantly. You cough, you die. 2020 summarized. All channels always having either news or old movies. There's always a weird scene where a character falls asleep watching Citizen Kane or some Hitchcock film. What channel are you guys on? Working as a waitress and living in a huge apartment with the fridge full and expensive clothes in California or New York City of all places. Not sneezing or coughing, edit. Tack in itches too. Good one. and you just know that if someone sneezes or coughs, they are dying of lung cancer, or is patient zero of a new disease. A crash or chase happens with shooting and stuff, and every other car continues to drive as if nothing is going on around them. People slam on the brakes in real life cause a cop is going the opposite direction on the highway, yet you watch a Marvel movie and a dude's tailgating a van. CPT America and Ultron are actively fighting on Reddit, fixing errors. Totally this. I watched Kigata the other day, high speed highway scene, shots fired out, and into a moving van with someone on top of the roof and everything. I just couldn't help myself getting sucked out of the movie, thinking why the hell is everyone just going ahead like nothing's happening. One guy even got thrown out of the van and run over and splattered. Even this has no effect on the traffic behind or ahead of the van for the duration of the chase. Unlimited bullets and accuracy 100% for shooting normal bad guys. Being able to talk in the middle of a gunfight. Guns allowed. The dozens to hundreds of gunshots in a movie gunfight would leave everyone with their ears ringing till the next day. Someone goes up to a bar and asks for alcohol or beer, and the bartender gives it to them without asking the brand or type. Whatever they ask for is conveniently right in front of the bartender under the bar. Enhancing a HD quality image to 4K and zooming into the size of microbe with perfect clarity, then getting the reflection off of that microbe to get the license plate. Bombs with a special display that counts down to 0. I would love movie where someone fakes a timer, so when the heroes think they still have very tense tends to cut the specific one, it actually already explodes. Taking one bite and you are done, haha. Husband comes rushing down the stairs, briefcase and jacket in hand. He finds a full breakfast in the kitchen table with different breads, fruits, eggs and a massive jar of orange juice. Oh hey honey, I'm running late. Takes a bite of a croissant leaving it on the table, kisses the wife, takes one sip out of the orange juice and runs out the door. I woke up 3 hours ago to make all of this, you ungrateful duck. People waking up with perfect makeup. My wife points this out in everything we watch. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel lampshades this trope pretty well. She gets up before her husband every morning to put on makeup, and then gets back in bed right before the alarm goes off, so she looks pristine for him. Always having your hair look nice. Not just hair, full makeup and shaved legs. Even after being chased by a killer for hours, or living amongst zombies, or doing physical activity. Serial killers just standing there staring at you and giving you enough time to escape, as per standard villain regulations. 1. Monologue about plan whilst hero is incapacitated. 2. Prepare slow method of death. 3. Then leave and omit worked. 4. Act surprised when hero returns to foil plot. LMAO, cuz do Fenchmerts. The pushy dude in the rom-com ends up getting the girl, whereas in real life they'd be more likely to end up with a restraining order. Surprised I had to scroll so far to see this one. Being pushy and persistent in real life is a good way to be labeled a creepy stalker, not a good way to get a girlfriend. Edit. I keep getting the typical not if you're attractive comments that always tend to follow this kind of thread. And no, you're wrong. Being a creepy stalker has nothing to do with looks. Literally nothing. It's all in your behaviors. Hot guys can be stalkers. Ugly guys can be decent human beings that don't stalk people. And everything in between. Being conventionally attractive does not mean that your advances are automatically welcome and wanted. Being attractive does not exempt you from being a stalker. If you're tempted to push the looksism narrative, just don't. It isn't true. People not screaming in absolute agony when shot or stabbed in the gut. Reservoir Dogs is one movie that did it realistically. I'll give it a very slim par because I know people who've been shot and say they didn't initially scream because of shock. Oh, but trust me, once the shock wore off they were screaming in pain. Walking home from the grocery store carrying a single paper bag with an unwrapped loaf of French bread sticking out the top. I read somewhere years ago that this is because directors have realized having a bag or box without clearly broadcasting what's in it is distracting. So the loaf/greens is the universal "it's just groceries, you can ignore this." According to him, it's because as viewers we are prone to what's in the box. syndrome and will fixate on mystery packages, even in shows where there is no intrigue. Once it's established as groceries, we, the viewers, know we can safely ignore it as a potential plot point. Edit. Thank you. In action movies, where the main character kills like 100 bad guys, the inverse ninja law, fighting 100 baddies is easy, but fighting one main villain takes several minutes or several sequel/follow-up episodes. In horror movies I always enjoy how fast and deep a perfectly symmetrical grave gets dug. Exactly, digging a grave takes ages with a shovel, but in movies and games it's a matter of a few hours at most. Sex happening in seconds fully clothed with zero foreplay. It's as if the guy just falls into her sticking his thing through his zipper. Immediate penetration. There's also almost never a "do you have a condom" delay. Apparently all these female characters are on birth control and don't worry about STDs. Mom makes a huge breakfast and lays it all out. Kids and husband grab a bagel on the way out the door ignoring all the food. Gotta go mom. /kiss bye. Mom, sit her down. Being able to outrun an explosion. While we're on explosions, can we talk about grenades? Grenades do not create a fireball in real life. They're basically just really intense flashbangs with shrapnel. Not saying bye before hanging up. My brother does this IRL and it's really disconcerting. Having 1 or 2 drags of a cigarette and throwing it away. You know how expensive those ducking things are. I do this all the time. If I light a smoke someone always needs me right at that very ducking moment. It always bugged me when on a show kids would be getting ready for school and it'd be sunny out. Maybe I just had an early start time, but it was always still dark out when I was up and getting ready for school. I would get super pissed off standing at my bus stop in freezing ducking cold weather every morning thinking there should be some kind of child abuse law against making kids get up for school while it's pitch black and the moon is still out. Women orgasm within seconds. Edit. Wow, thanks for the awards. Also, doing it vertically against a wall. That is not as easy as they make it look. Nobody ever has to use the toilet. Unless it's a side character who dies because he went off away from the others to pee. Meeting new friends the minute you move to a new town. Especially when they don't try. People just approach them. Everyone's so interested in figuring the guy out. People in movies working with computers absolutely never use spacebar, backspace and mouse. They just mash on the keyboard and somehow it all magically makes sense. Also, hacking/programming. There was a movie on last week where a guy pulled up CMD, typed a NIP config and dramatically declared, "I hacked FBI." It was a perfectly serious scene, and I spent 5 minutes laughing hysterically before changing the channel. I'll create a GUI interface in Visual Basic, see if I can track an IP address. Scientists in any field are experts in every other field of science as well, e.g. the physicist in annihilation concluding the tree formations are due to homeotic mutations. Same with technology in general. If only I could track this military grade radio back to the government agents trying to kill me. I guess I better take it to that guy in it. 5 minutes later, they have a physical address to the bad guys. Silencers make a PFFFFT sound. Silencers are still pretty loud. If you shoot one it won't go unnoticed. Things going according to plan. Background music. Life would be so much better with background music. Please God, implement this as soon as possible. Guys kiss girls to shut them up. This one irks me. If I did that my GF would be pissed and walk away, not bang me on sight. How normalized stalking is. You dropped this, so I followed you for 3 hours to give it back kiss and hug. Now we are dating. In reality, it's Mason call the cops for stalking. That sounds like some experienced talking. Every computer in a movie or show constantly chirps/beeps/speaks when used. That would be really damn annoying in real life. Also, computers are used exclusively by typing. No one uses a mouse ever. Answering your phone when you don't recognize the number. Yeah, they don't even look at the number, they just answer it and go hello. Who is this? And when they do know the person they still act surprised like caller ID doesn't exist. Hello. Oh hey mom. Uninterested woman has a sudden change of heart for the loser guy and they live happily ever after. And she's super middle hot while he's a fat schlub. Suddenly singing and with matching choreography. High School Musical lied to me. Women in war zones and other long-term disaster situations with filthy matted hair and tattered grimy clothes always seem to find the time to have perfectly groomed eyebrows and put on a little makeup and shave their legs. Every own's house is neat and tidy and ducking Marv even if they're broke. Hackers. Perfect code. First try. No issues ever. If your code runs correctly first try, you're confused and scared. Print, hello world. 104 errors. Women covering their boobs with a blanket after sex. Also under the covers 6, especially in summer. At least that's slightly better than women who sleep in a bra, corset, and cocktail dress. I'm a guy, and even I can see that sleeping in a bra would be so uncomfortable. Unless they are written to be stupid comic relief, people in movies talk with zero filler words. In real life very few people are able to do that. Yeah, but like I want my movies to like kind of have characters like talking like you know, sort of like talking like this all the time. No one ever says bye on the phone. All carried luggage is light af, no one needs a haircut. Ever. They also always say it's me. I've never said that on the phone. Those 1 in a million chances where someone survives for plot or a side character dies. For plot. People not talking over each other during a conversation. Everyone is always waiting for the other to finish their thought when in reality people are impatient and interrupt constantly. My dad's complaint about TV and movies. Women sleeping with full face makeup and perfect hair. In a boxing movie, the hero always wins by dramatic KO in the later rounds, having lost every round up until that point and taking a severe beating. In reality, the fight would have been stopped in his opponent's favor several rounds previously. Not in the original Rocky, but yeah, he should have been stopped quite early. Turning on the TV to exactly the right thing. Arrested Development did a great bit making fun of this trope. I always loved how The Simpsons did that. Turning on the TV would always cut into something, rather than it being perfect timing. Like switching to the news just in time to hear. Leaving the vice president in charge. When they throw a cigarette on petrol, gas, and it lights up. That actually doesn't happen in real life. The cigarette isn't hot enough for it to cause this. People who wake up and start making out. We all know you have dog shiz breath first thing in the morning, and they never have to pee first thing. That teens have these highly sexual drug-fueled lives. Like weed, yeah maybe, but just a little exaggerated. And outside of plot reasons, their drug-fueled sexual lives have no negative impacts. Women can be in the jungle for days, but no body hair anywhere. Men instantly grow a beard. A small misunderstanding, not resolved by explaining, goes on to create an entire chain of wacky hygienics, usually initiated by wait, I can explain. Subtitles. As someone who went backpacking through the rural areas of England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, I wish there were subtitles. Not doing the awkward goodbye, where you say bye then hang on a second to see if they're gonna say anything else. When the girl is walking on the street holding her books and bumped into an attractive man who helps her collecting her books from the floor, then they look at each other and fall in love. This halfway happened to me. I bumped into a guy's chest and dropped my Oreos. He shrugged and walked away while I stared at my almost bitten cookie on the ground. It was the last one. We did not fall in love. Nobody charging their dang phones when they go to bed. Bonus points for characters who are waiting for an important phone call. Where in the hell do they get these phones with super mega battery life? Kids at a school dance are all up dancing. In real life they just stand in circles and talk. At least when I was a teenager that's how it was. How easy revenge ducking someone's husband/wife is. People in movies can tell if other characters are speaking sarcastically or not. Clarity is more often sought out in real life conversations. Someone needs to make a movie where every single scene is just one of these cliches people are naming. running with high heels and not breaking a bone. It depends, though. I've been running with high heels for a while now. I found heels extremely annoying because I couldn't do anything, but my mom still bought a pair for me. I refused to listen to her warnings and still ran in them, falling many times. Now, I can run up and down stairs, go nearly full speed in heels, and they only hinder me if I've been wearing them for a long time. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's fucking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.